Hello everyone, Paul here from the Pin Academy. So let's continue to practice whatever we have taught you on this channel, but this time around, not replaying, but analyzing from the real markets, like we have always been doing breakdowns on our other social media channels. So today is Wednesday, 31st, and we do have a very strong news coming in. And as a trader, you need to be aware of when news is going to come in, because usually there are impulsive moves in the market that may affect your running positions. Though if you do proper analysis and trade using structure, I really expect news to always complete structure just right. So we're going to use structure, top-down analysis that we have been doing just to analyze our market. We're going to just know that we have news at a particular time, but we're going to be using and focusing on structure, right? We're not going to panic about news, but we need to know about it. So talking about knowing about news, what do you know? I recommend you to use Fastbull. Just go to their website, fastbull.com. You can check out the economic calendar, and it's very detailed, right? It even gives you the impact that news has. They give you their views and analysis. They also have AI signals column, whereby they provide you the signals. You can just do your own analysis and compare it with the setup that you've had for that day. And also they have news that you can get to know about what is happening in other sectors like Forex, stocks, what's happening in other countries' economies, so that you can use it to your own advantage. So today I want us to focus on this economic calendar. When you scroll down, and also, by the way, in case you don't have a laptop with you all the time, you can download the application and have it on your phone, right? It will be easier for you. Let's focus on this Wednesday calendar. You can see already we had this ADP news coming out, and it's showing that here they gave you here that what they are thinking, the analysts are thinking. This was the impact they are thinking, right? So why I like looking at this calendar is just to look at the time, so that I can know that either I should avoid being in the market at a particular time, or if I'm at the best position or the best structure level to trade, then I can use it as fuel. Remember, fundamentals just fuel in the market. So we have very strong news coming out like 3 hours, maybe 3 hours and a half from now. So you need to, that's why I want us to do analysis on USD pairs, and we see it could be changing structure, or it could be as fuel in case it reaches our levels by that time, right? So don't forget to use Fastbull, and you be aware of the time the news is coming out, or in case you want to trade news, it will give you all that. AI signals are available. Be acquainted with news and the rest. So now let's go to let's start with USDJPY. Now, the previous time we spoke about USDJPY, we started by saying that the market, we wanted it to break above this level. And if the month closes above here, you can see that today is 31st. So if the month closes above here, we shall just expect a retracement, and then we continue. Remember, the market already hit a high here. So we're just going to adjust when you go to the lower time frames. When you come down to the weekly time frame, what we observe, very neat and straightforward, also agreeing with the monthly time frame. We do have a previous resistance level here, that monthly level there, that acted as, this was a resistance here, pushed price all the way down. When the market broke above, we tested it as a support. Then we broke down, we retested it as a resistance. Now, currently, we have broken above it. So we are having a push down. But one thing you have to note, in our latest video, we spoke about Fibonacci retracement tool, and there's an impulse. We said whenever there's an impulse, market breaking more than one turning point, it becomes an impulsive move or an aggressive move. So what do we have there? Excuse me, let me just clean my chart here, and by closing this, so that let's just leave the economic calendar open. So that I like my charts being clean and my screen being clean. As a trader, you have to be organized, so you don't be that disorganized. So I was saying that this is an impulse because it broke this turning point. And also, if you look at your left-hand side and also this higher point, there's another turning point we had here. The market closed above it. So this is an impulsive move, meaning that I can actually also bring in my Fibonacci and use it as a confluence. So from down there up to up, if you've not watched that video, make sure you watch it. So with this case, I'm just going to be utilizing, I'm just going to mark my golden ratio there. As long as the market then go below this golden ratio, we are still bullish. Now, look at the other Fibonacci retracement levels, 38.2% or 0.382 and 50% level they're all aligning perfectly in this area here. So there's a possibility we may have a retracement here before we can continue to making a new high there. So I'm just going to clear this. That's what we have. So weekly and monthly on USDJPY speaking the same thing. Remember, I'm talking about USD pairs because we have strong news coming out, and we want to utilize that as momentum. In case it is not in our levels, we can avoid it and wait for structure shift or change in structure before we can utilize. Then we do have the daily time frame. Now, when you come to daily time frame, very straightforward still. In the previous analysis, we talked about this high, higher low, high, and wanted the market to give us a retracement. It's exactly what the market is giving us. You can watch the previous video. Someone may be saying, oh, no, you did not do this analysis. You can do that. Very, very straightforward. It's giving us basic movements of the market, right? Now, of course, the momentum still is bullish, according to the way I see it, even if we have made the highs. So the momentum is still bullish, right? So we also had an impulse here. The market retraced, but also if you were to mark here, let me just this impulse from here. Why impulse? Because it broke this turning point and also broke this one, also closed above this one. You can also bring out your fib level from here up to that high there. So we have the daily 6-to-1 ratio is here in this area here, just in the previous high here. So if the market comes into this level here, we're expecting it to give us a change of trend. Now, what this is all just marking structure and making ourselves ready. Now, if I'm to observe, all this level here was tested, so I'll delete it. Then also this level, I see the market made equal highs here in this high level and it was tested. So I can actually remove it so that I can only have this area here. So it means that I'm expecting the price, I'm expecting the price to do what? To come back to within this area here. I'm just going to mark here, right? So at least if the market can come and even this plus this high, if the market can come here, I'll be looking, if it can tap into this area, I'll be looking for a change of trend. But of course, along the way, we also have this high level here. I'm just going to change the color to green. The market had turning points here, so we can have that. And then also we have this neckline here, which the market, I think, has tested. There's a false breakout. So this can be all targets as the market changes trend to go up. So let's check H4 and we observe. So H4, we still don't have a tap into this area here. If it is too big for you, remember the area should not be so big. If the area is too big, just align it perfectly. So like, for example, I'll just adjust mine here like this so that it's not a very big area. So like that. So now I'm going to be observing how the market approaches. For example, here we have a market that created a low, lower high. Then the market, this is a higher low, of course. So the market now is printing a new low. So this is a low, lower high, lower low. So I'll be waiting for the market to maybe test here and then give me the higher low. Or if it can grab liquidity below here, and then it breaks above. Or if it can come grab liquidity retest here, give us double bottoms or higher low, break above on the retest, I'll be looking for buying opportunities. So this is my approach. USDJPY, those whom I speak to privately almost on a daily basis, you know that this is on my watch list for this week, and I've given you all my reasons, right? The same reasons that I'm providing here. It's the same reason. So I'm watching it. This is my area that I'm watching it at. Let it first come and tap into this area. The same way I normally approach it when I'm educating you guys here, sharing you how I've been trading for these years. So that's USDJPY. Let's look at another USD pair and we see if it will be in our favor. Let's look at AUDUSD. It's also on my watch list. Now, this AUDUSD, starting from the monthly time frame, we spoke about it when it was still up here at this resistance level, and we said we wanted it to drop down. All these breakdowns are there on our channel. You can watch, you can go through the previous videos, you'll find them there, right? We normally even sometimes, the team normally sometimes put the examples used in the titles. You can watch them. So when it reached here, we expected the market to give us a pull down, and then we can expect maybe a slight pullback up. So this was the push down that we were expecting the drop. And when we go down to the weekly time frame, what do we observe in the weekly time frame? Now, we also observed that the market had created a high, higher low, high. So let's identify which levels were not tested here in the weekly time frame that maybe the market would be interested in testing. We still have the market printing high, higher low, high, higher low. So meaning it could want to make a small retracement upwards before maybe continuing either lower or maybe to make a higher low and pushing higher, right? So which has already made the move that we wanted, this area here. So the move has already happened. And now what next? This is AUDUSD, remember? So we have just looked at USDJPY. USDJPY is going down, meaning the dollar is weak at present. And recall I told you guys that always do not forget to look at the DXY, right? I'm not looking at it because I think now it's a constant. Remember, I told you guys when we reached here, we expected a pullback. Still, all this is documented, right? We expected a pullback either to this red line which I see it has been stalling, but it would be best if to grab the liquidity into this blue zone, and then we can start pushing higher. It would be best, but we don't know what the market will do. Let's wait. But the best alternative, as all these markets are making movements, if it changes from this red line, it's okay. By change, I mean a change of trend, let's say in our entry time frames. Currently, it's ranging. You can see equal highs and equal lows. If it can change, then it will be good. So we are waiting for the DXY to gain strength before the dollar also gains strength, right? So let's go back to our AUD/USD. So when you come back to AUD/USD here, the weekly time frame. So what do we have in the weekly time frame? We do have this area here that the market broke above. Let me just mark it here for you. The market broke above this area here, and we didn't have a proper retest. So let me just adjust it well. The market didn't touch it properly, so there are higher chances the market may be interested in coming back to touch it properly before making anything else, right? So just delete this because we already utilized it in this drop down here. Let's go down to the weekly, to the daily time frame. What do we have in the daily time frame? We can see we have a strong impulse and a weak momentum. Those who trade patterns, you can say that there's a pattern here. Personally, I see this like a continuation pattern downwards, but we don't know because there's no breakout yet. So how do we establish our area of interest as the market is making that retracement? Since we have this impulse, turning point broken, and we closed below, more than one turning point being broken. So what do we bring? Fibonacci retracement tool. Our recent video talks about it. So what do we want? We don't want the market to break above this golden ratio. So I'll just change it to red. Shouldn't break and close above, right? So this is it. The market is still in our areas of interest here. Let me just mark here, as long as then take out the golden ratio. So we can just mark this area here. So we shall be looking for it. It has already tapped into that area. So we shall now just be waiting for change of trend before we can drop down with it here. Remember, we're expecting it to come and tap into this area before it decides to do anything else. But remember, the DXY has already decided to break upwards. We want the DXY to be strong before the dollar can also throw these things down, right? So let's check our entry time frame before we can do anything else. So in the entry time frame, we can clearly observe the market is ranging. There's no direction. It's ranging because also the DXY is ranging. If you want to trade dollar pairs, make sure you know what the DXY is doing, right? So we have a market that has done a high, higher low. What happened next? High, higher low, right? So when we extend this like this, you can see the market has been playing around it. Breaks down, but not a proper break. Breaks down, loses momentum. Not a proper break because of how it broke it down. Not a proper break because of how it broke it down, right? So here the market did not break. Now here the market broke down, but again lost momentum. That's why you see the market has broken above. So many people have lost money here. So we shall be waiting for, let me just mark also this area, because if it goes above, this is a new higher high here, just here like this, like that. Or if you want, you can just adjust it like this. Let me just adjust it for you like this. So I've been using this as my last level that wanted the market to properly break below aggressively. It attempted to do that here. I think it was yesterday or early today. So I was waiting for a weak retest, and instead what has happened? That. So now we're waiting. I'm waiting for it to do. Let me just change these colors to green so that it won't confuse us. These are levels in entry time frames. So just change them there. So I'm waiting for it to give me a proper change of trend. Not proper change of trend yet. You guys who know me on a personal basis, or those who have been following our teachings, I don't trade just candlestick patterns, bullish engulfings, and the rest. So I'm waiting for a change of trend, which I've shared with you guys how to get it. And then after that, when it happens, I'll be looking for a sell to this area here. All right. So you can clearly see AUD/USD and USDJPY speaking the same thing. USDJPY, where it's falling right now. And also AUD/USD is buying right now. Of course, they're all still in a range, but we're waiting for a major shift, and then we can trade the major move. Always stay out of the market when still making noise, just like right now, right? So that's AUD/USD. Another one we can look at that I know most of you trade is gold. Now, I spoke about gold. I don't know if you guys follow these setups that we do. I will just start from the weekly time frame to make the video a bit short. Please watch on our social media, watch everywhere. I told you guys about this false breakout here that the market made, and we wanted it to come back to retest here. Check in the previous analysis that we made. Let me just change it to red. And we had a neckline here. So when the market came down to touch this, let me just go to daily and I first explain the previous analysis. We spoke about it here. we say that the market should come and touch here before we can buy with this, but the market didn't touch, right? So some of you will say that this is liquidity area, that there's a liquidity here. Personally, I just take it as just a false breakout, right? So I say that our target was this one here. You can watch in our previous videos. So the market didn't touch and came and hit the target. But if you have to observe, this target was hit, yes, but with what? With a false breakout and an improper retest. So there's a high probability price may want to come back and test it properly. So I'll just change this to blue, right? So we have an inside neckline here. If the market broke above on a retest here, then we can be pushing higher. But let's just go back slightly to weekly. Now, weekly, we had this improper retest. Someone may be wondering, sorry, not improper retest, but a false breakout. You can see here, the market did what? The market broke above this high. Instead of coming to test, it closed below it. Then after closing below, again, it broke above, leaving this area untested. That's why the market came back. I've spoken about this in not one video, but more than one video. Those who follow us closely, at least you know this setup, right? So we say that when the market comes and touches here, we shall be looking for buys. But our target, our first target and the threat area will be the neckline. Because we know when there's an M, this neckline here is acting as a resistance, which is a very big threat. So this should always be your first target, right? But when it breaks above it, then you can target the highs and any other tested level above there. And in this case, what do we observe here? In this case, we observe that after it breaks here, the highs are these levels here. And we observe that in the daily time frame, we have an improper retest around this area. False breakout, improper retest. So there's a higher chance if the market closed above here and gave us a weak retest. Actually, if it closes above here, it would be an impulse. Let me just show you. If the price comes and closes above these areas, if it comes and let's say closes above here without touching here, we shall have an impulse. So it will make a pullback, right, to one of the fib levels before we can finish this move. That's what I'm expecting with gold before the dollar starts gaining. Because right now you can clearly see that we expected the DXY to make a retracement downwards, meaning the dollar has weakened. I spoke about it also in the previous breakdown. So when the dollar is weak, the DXY has weakened, meaning the dollar power is weak, right? So that's why you see these things buying, AUD, USD buying or ranging. You see USDJPY dropping to test down. You see gold also is buying because it's paired against the dollar. Though sometimes in case of uncertainties and in times of war, gold tends to move a bit different compared to the DXY. Why? Because gold is a measure of wealth. And also sometimes people keep their wealth for safety in terms of gold. So fundamentally, it tends to disobey this comparison correlation sometimes during those times. But other factors remaining constant, since it's paired against the USD, it's XAU. USD, we expect it to move depending on the power of gold. Just note these other factors remaining constant, right? So that is it for gold, what I expect. Also in H4, when the market touched down here, I showed you guys in one of the previous videos how you could have done intraday on this movement, right? How you could have benefited from this intraday here. Let me just show you daily. The target we got was this one here. How you could have benefited from this low by the market coming to test it here. Of course, it came here. The market had not retested this point, so it reacted and gave us a higher low. Now we are breaking above. So there's a possibility this area here to be tested before the market finishing that move, right? Or if the market again aggressively closes in this area, and then if it closes in the area, then we could be looking for the market coming back down, right? So those who trade gold, these are the levels that we're targeting. But personally, I'm so much interested in the market coming to properly test this area because it's not properly tested. Why? Because we have a false breakout and the market just pushed down. Of course, I know when you go to a smaller time frame, someone will be telling me that it tested here. Yeah, it's tested, but it's not a proper retest, right? We need the market to do a proper retest, and then we shall. Just like here, this was a false breakout. You can see the market had to come back and test. It may take some time, but those are rules to price movement, right? So just take your time, back test the rules that we share with you here. You will see that with time, it will make sense. Right now, it may seem complicated, but it's not hard. What will make something that is hard or that is not easy and simple is through practice. Please practice, 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 and practice. So that is it. The breakdowns, I've tried to implement whatever we teach. Not whatever, but where applicable. You know, sometimes not every analysis requires you to to use whatever that we have learned, right? So at least through these breakdowns, the setups that we have looked at, I hope you can utilize backtest and practice what we have so far studied. That is it. I hope it helps you and you benefit from it. Have a great time. Have a profitable week.